What's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Byron, CEO of Sunrise Enterprise, and today we are back with another video. I was doing some research and I came across an idea that I'm gonna start doing on my channel. I'm gonna continue doing the board talks. I'm gonna continue being able to break down some of the greats that we can learn from their rise, part 1, and we're gonna keep doing part 2s, but we're gonna start getting straight to the meat, man. We're gonna get straight to the meat. And we're going to start going over key moral lessons that we could take from just from anybody, man. And what I want to do is I want to break down one of the most prolific drug lords today. Even though he was a rat, even though he snitched, you know what I'm saying, we could take a lot from his system, his business, his mind frame, the way he moved, and we could learn a lot of strategic ways in which we can apply it in our lives as well, man. So without further ado, you feel me, before we start this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. And basically when you get that bell, that basically is going to indicate when more lessons fall and you're right there to catch it, you know what I'm saying? So let's get right into it, man. Who are we going to be talking about today? Again, we're going to be talking about Frank Lucas, basically the kingpin from New York, and we're going to go over 5 lessons that we could take from his life. Let's get it. Lesson number 1. Frank Lucas was a student of Bumpy Johnson. I'm going to circle this right here. He was a student. Before I started this YouTube, I wanted to be my own businessman. I used to work a 9-to-5 job, and I realized that did not align with who I wanted to be and my purpose in life. So what I did was I saved my money from my checks, and I went and invested in a pressure washer. Now, I didn't know nothing about pressure washing. The idea came from being at the job. We would go to gated communities, and I'm from east side of Fort Myers, Florida, and where we were in Naples, Florida. Basically, when we went to Naples, I was exposed to a different environment and a different scenery that I've never seen before. There's no reason for me to be in Naples, Florida, so I really don't go out there much, right? So when we got to the neighborhood and we were, going down the street, I saw paved driveways. I'm like, man, them things collect mold. I wonder how often they get it pressure washed or whatever. So I did the math. It was like every 3 months you need to get it pressure washed. So my ideas just started going off. The entrepreneur in me was just taking off. I was like, all right, well, let me be that person to provide that service. But my point of saying that was to say that I was only a student. I didn't know nothing. Right? And that's what Bumpy Johnson was. He was a student. I relate my story to his story because it all goes back to what I'm about to say, right? So Frank Lucas was a student of Bumpy Johnson. Now Bumpy Johnson, we're going to do an episode on him. We're going to do a board talk on Bumpy Johnson, and we're going to be able to break his life down from the rise and the fall, and we're going to see exactly why this man is so prominent, why he has so much power, why does his name still ripple many years after he's already passed away. So Bumpy Johnson and Frank Lucas was together for 15 years. Frank Lucas basically was his student for 15 years, right? And 15 years of following one of the most prominent black gangsters in New York, right? I'm talking about, he was pretty much one of the only black men to be associated with Lucky Luciano and the Italian Mafia back in them days. He had enough respect to where couldn't anybody just fuck with him. He had enough respect back in the days to where he was able to hold a lot of weight around New York, and even after his death. And we're gonna break that down. So lesson number 1, I would say, is Frank Lucas was a student of Bumpy Johnson, which meant that mentors are needed. In order for you to be a great teacher, you have to be a great student. I give you another scenario, right? When I finally got my pressure washer and I finally was able to start doing work, I didn't know how to market. What did I choose to have working for me with the resources that I had available? And I thought outside the box. And what I had available was family. I had books. I had courses. And I had a partner, right? Or OG. Now I'll go over each one real quick. If you're doing business with family, family will eventually fuck you if there is no benefit in it for them, right? If family will eventually do you wrong, if nothing is going to benefit them in the long term, family is actually worse than strangers sometimes. I'm a living testimony. I'll tell my story, right? I put my trust in a brother, and he basically kind of ditched me. You know, am I mad at him? I'm not mad at him, but we can never be what it was. He can never be just brother again. Because at the time, it was only about business. It was only about money. But when he said, when he left me to do the business and he took his partner with him and they left me to do all that shit by myself, I still rose. I still rose. And I'm still rising. You didn't stop shit, nigga. You didn't stop a damn thing. All you did was push me to go harder. And that's why I say family ain't shit, man. Unless it's real genuine. If he's made $1 million and you ain't made 10 G's, what is something that he's trying to get out of you? It's something that he's taking from you. You're being used. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of times what happened with family. So if we look to family to be our mentors, it's a two-sided, it's a two-headed snake. I mean, it could either be a pet snake that eventually bites you, or it could be a full-on motherfucking python that really devours you and leaves you in the bottom of his stomach. This is what I want to be able to say is, like, when we learn from family, we have to be able to come with our own benefits. We have to be able to come with our own skill sets, because they will use your lack of skill sets to their benefit, right? So then books. When I started picking up books, I was more so able to school myself. I was able to go from what the author was applying and put it in myself, you know what I'm saying? And be able to go ahead and finesse whatever situation that I was trying to get. This is another thing. When people tell you what you can't do, just do it anyway. Somebody told me that video editing was so hard and it couldn't be done, and now I'm doing videos, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pushing them out pretty quick, you know what I'm saying? Because I put it in my mind that I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will try to bring you down, man. Motherfuckers will smile in your face but stick a fucking knife in your back, man. And we have to be able to identify that even with family, friends, and mentors, right? So here's my point. I had books, courses, I had a partner, and an OG. I never had an OG. I never had no old head come above me and say, look, youngin', this is how it's done, this is how it should be done. I never had no uncles that gave me the game. I never had no, my dad wasn't a gamer, you know what I'm saying? He was a player. Mentors are needed because it's two ways to go about success. You can get a mentor or you can do it yourself. So that's number one. We need mentors, right? So number two is, what I took from the movie is relaunching higher quality brand product and making it better. The Blue Magic brand, right, is what it was called. That's what he called it, Blue Magic, right? Because it was so pure that when you put it to be tested, it would turn blue, which indicate 100% raw cocaine, right? The cocaine was rich and it was also cheap, right? So by being a top quality but also beating the price of competitors, you're gonna inevitably outshine everyone around you. So for instance, when I had my detailing business and I used to charge $50, right? I then realized that people were charging $250, $350 for the exact same service that I was doing. So then what I did was I went up on my price and I gave them the exact same service, but the quality, I just added better products, I added a better customer service, I added better experience. That way the price matched the service, and we were able to increase the brand doing something that has already existed. And that's exactly what Frank Lucas did with Blue Magic. It was already suppliers on the street. He went outside the supply chain and he was able to tap into something that was authentic, something that was real, and he was able to brand it, and people heard about it, word of mouth spread, and being, you know what I'm saying, that got people to understand that the quality of the brand and the product is everything. A few examples of brand and product is In-N-Out, right? So I've been to California one time, and my boy introduced me to the Jungle Fries. And basically it's just like some fries with a lot of shit stacked up on it, right? And it was nothing different that you would get at the restaurant. They just added a twist to it, right? Another example, Amazon, right? You can get books, you can get clothes, you can get anything, but the only difference is it's online, it's e-commerce based. You know what I'm saying? You can get the exact same stuff at Walmart or whatever, but they just transitioned and repackaged it to say, okay, we're going to brand ourselves to do e-commerce, and we're going to sell everything, pretty much everything under the moon. You feel me? So these are examples of taking a product, relaunching a higher quality product and just making it better. Another example is Netflix. Back in the days when I used to buy DVDs and VCR tapes and all this other shit, that was fun, going to Blockbuster and just going through the variety of movies and shit like that, right? So when Netflix came out, they literally shut down whole industries that's been around 20 plus years, based off the concept of taking it, putting it into a subscription form, and then you watch whatever you want off this software. You know what I'm saying? And this was able to fuck the game up, man. So they pretty much took the same DVDs, the same movies, and they just made it better. You know what I'm saying? They made it a lot better, and they were able to versatile their ways of running their business, and they were able to be unique. Same way with Frank Lucas, and this is something that we can take from. This is something that I'm going to take from with my business, Self-Rise Enterprise. Basically is that mentors are needed, but you got to find the right one. Brand and quality. Brand and product is everything. Brand, product, and quality also is everything. You know what I'm saying? We can learn a lot from In-N-Out. We can learn a lot from Amazon. We can learn a lot from Netflix, you know what I'm saying? And we can also say, okay, let's go outside the supply chain and let's think different. Let's rebrand it. Let's repackage it. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them the same thing, just with a bow up top. You know what I'm saying? And also make it better. Let's make it stand out. Is when Nicky Barnes tries to dilute Blue Magic and call it Red Magic. Now, a lot of times when you grow up in the hood, you know, you go into the ghetto stores, you go into the little markets, they got knockoff cereals, the Fruity Tops or the Fruit Loops or some shit like that, right? And so these are knockoffs, basically pushing the same. That's exactly what Nicky Barnes tried to do when he called it Red Magic. And why would he try to call it Red Magic? Because if he dilutes Blue Magic, then he can come behind Frank Lucas and push his brand as better than Blue Magic. So I'm gonna call it Red Magic just so I can throw off my competitor. And a lot of times people do that in the streets. A lot of times people do that in Fortune 500 industries, and you know what I'm saying? We can take from that as an example of being able to protect your brand and not avoiding brand dilution. You know what I'm saying? Brand dilution is very important to growing your business and making sure no one is stepping on your name, you know what I'm saying, and basically promoting your business in a way that you don't see fit. We go off into another lesson, another moral lesson, and that lesson is leadership skills. Like, this is what I took from it all, right? Because this is my goal. My goal is to make millions of dollars pushing content, pushing products, being able to help people, help thousands of people, and be able to grow my company to where I can then bring on my brothers. I can bring on my mother. I can retire my mother. I can be able to do things in this lifetime that I wouldn't have been able to think of when I was a kid. because it all starts in my brain first. But before I can really get it out into the world, I got to put that faith into God. And then God, with some action, he's going to make it happen. So what am I saying that to say this? When the leadership qualities arose for Frank, he realized that he couldn't trust anyone, and he would rather stick this wisdom, this 15 years of wisdom, into his brothers, right? And this is the difference why I say I want to make all my brothers bosses, because I don't want me to be above him and any other way like that. I want him to be able to grow as his own man and be able to have the knowledge to move exactly how he wants to move. You feel what I'm saying? So here's the example. When Frank brings his family from North Carolina, he wastes no time showing them the wisdom, right? And how to grow their hair around business. And also street game. They gave him a lot of street game, right? When he was able to push this knowledge and this information to his brothers, you know, he was like, you either somebody or you're not. And so this is what we was able to take from that lesson was leadership qualities. He brought his family in to North Carolina to show them the street ways and the laws and how to grow that business, and being able to, you know, show how things are supposed to run. You know what I'm saying? He made millions of dollars, man. It was a successful business, successful family business, even though it was drug related. You know what I'm saying? We can still take from the bad. Again, this is Self-Rise Enterprise. So what the point of this channel is to take from the failures, the rise. We don't judge nobody. We learn from everything and everyone, because we can learn from everything and everyone. You know what I'm saying? So number 5 is be smooth, not stupid, right? And this is me naturally. You know, a lot of people, when I was growing up, they always had to have the nicest shoes. They always had to have the nicest clothes, but can't pay their phone bill. Asking their mama for $20 so they can get a sack of weed. You know what I'm saying? But they got the nicest shoes on. This is what I mean. Be smooth, not stupid. You can look good, but if you look good and you loud, that's gonna indicate who you are. Frank Lucas, don't get it wrong now. Frank Lucas dressed in a $1,000 suit, $2,000 suit. But he was very humble, very keen, very strategic. He knew how to move, right? So the lesson is your actions should not be loud, but be humble. You should be trying to help as many people as you can. If anything, do what you got to do and get out the game. But this is another example of, you know, action should not be loud. Even though I feel a certain type of way about my black history and how things were done in history with just slavery and, you know what I'm saying, just the North America setup and how everything is going, for me to be loud and for me to, you know, be a rebel with my words and not really have no actions behind it, it's not going to go nowhere. It's not going to go nowhere. What I need to do is I need to own shit. Once I own some shit, I can call some shots. Look at Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was trying to kick in the door to get in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But he stayed humble. He stayed smooth. He stayed quiet. And before you know it, he stuck that money into his own Hollywood. Now he got a black Hollywood in Atlanta, Georgia, just a few miles from where he grew up. Through vision, through staying humble, through moving smooth, man. Being able to maneuver in a way that you ain't got to be heard, you ain't got to be seen. You could be by yourself, grind, and then when it's time to show yourself, the whole world know you based off how you were moving. But if you are lack of confidence and you gotta be seen and you gotta be heard and you didn't get that much love as a kid, you want everybody's attention to be on you, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to fucking stand out. Motherfucker finna come catch you, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be pleasant based off how you moving in life, whether it's death or prison. Based off these 5 lessons, I feel that we can take a lot from Frank Lucas' life. And the 5 lessons are: 1, mentors are needed. 2, relaunching a higher quality brand and product. So basically, if whatever you do, just make your brand and your product unique. Make it stand out. Take the Blue Magic concept. Take In-N-Out Burger. Take Amazon. Take Netflix, and then flip it as yours, right? Where we at? Brand illusion. Nicky Barnes tries to turn it from Blue Magic to Red Magic. We have to be able to take from that and say, just like, you know, Self-Rise Enterprise. I don't want nobody to call it self-rising enterprise. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm gonna go check him, because it's like, why are you calling your company this and my shit was already this? You pushing something else outside of what I'm pushing. You know, we're gonna have a problem with that, right? So leadership qualities, him bringing his family into his business, showing them the game, and retiring his mom's in his mansion, and being able to influence so much that his nephew says, I don't even want to play baseball no more. I want to sell dope. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play for that. I don't want to play pro baseball. I just want to sell dope for you. It's like, we have to be able to take from that too and say influence is a motherfucker. And that's what I talk about. It's called ripple effect. And basically, in the ripple effect, it talks about, I'll talk about it briefly. It basically talks about how the impacts that you have in your family now in your life can impact the next 100 years. Number 5 is actions should not be loud, be humble. Right? So if you got money, if you got, you know what I'm saying, if you're doing good in the business, if you're, you know what I'm saying, making some money, stay hungry. Stay on a consistent mind frame of trying to eat every single day. You know what I'm saying? Don't be doing shit that you wouldn't do when you was broke. Those are my 5 lessons, right? Mentorship, brand illusion, relaunching the brand, leadership skills, and then be smooth and be humble, man. So that's all I got. If you like this video, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. That way you're able to know when we drop these lessons. And you're able to come in and apply it yourself. We're gonna go over our goals pretty soon here, man. And I appreciate everybody watching. If you made it to the end, hopefully you can take these lessons and apply them in your life. Peace, love, and blessings. One love.